Hello and welcome to the 9th edition of SplashCast, a weekly podcast for water and wastewater industry professionals. I'm April Weatherley, and here's what happened week commencing 20th of October 2025. This week's top story. The latest water company performance report published by Ofwat highlights a mixed picture of progress and ongoing challenges across England and Wales's water companies. The report assesses companies against a range of performance metrics, including water quality, supply reliability, customer service, environmental compliance, and affordability. According to the report, there have been notable improvements in several areas. Drinking water quality remained exceptionally high, with compliance rates averaging 99.97%. Companies have also expanded their priority services register, helping more vulnerable customers receive tailored support. Additionally, some firms have achieved significant reductions in internal sewer flooding. However, the report also identifies areas of concern. Pollution incidents have increased over the review period, and certain companies continue to struggle with long-duration supply interruptions. Furthermore, customer satisfaction scores have declined slightly, raising questions about service perception despite technical improvements. Natural Resources Wales says it will continue to strengthen its regulation of the water industry in Wales, as data from its annual Environmental Performance Assessment report shows another year of disappointing results for Welsh Water. Natural Resources Wales says the main area of concern highlighted in the report is another increase in sewerage pollution incidents, rising for the 5th year running. Earlier this year, it published a pollution incident report, which revealed that Welsh Water was responsible for 155 sewerage and water supply pollution incidents during 2024, including 6 serious incidents and 149 lower impact incidents. This is the highest number of incidents recorded by the company in 10 years. Local authorities across Ireland have improved their environmental enforcement performance by 20% over the past 3 years, according to the Environmental Protection Agency's latest Local Authority Environmental Enforcement Performance Report. However, the report highlights that greater focus is still needed on water quality and wastewater enforcement to meet national environmental objectives. Water companies that commit environmental offences could soon face quicker and tougher penalties of up to £500,000 under new measures being considered by the UK government. A public consultation has been launched to expand and strengthen the financial penalties available to the Environment Agency in an effort to clamp down on pollution and other rule breaches across the water sector. At present, the EA faces difficulties in imposing penalties for frequent, minor or moderate offences, such as some breaches of licences or permits, because it must meet the same high legal standard of proof required in criminal courts. Officials say this makes it too costly and time-consuming to pursue less serious cases. Under the proposed changes, the standard of proof would be lowered to a civil level, making it easier and faster for the agency to hold companies to account. An independent panel has called for the establishment of a separate environmental regulator in Northern Ireland as part of its review of the region's environmental governance. The panel launched its final report this week, presenting its findings to the Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs Minister Andrew Muir. The report contains 32 recommendations grouped under 4 themes: clarity and coherence, meaningful independence, better compliance, and transparency and accountability. Many of the proposals aim to strengthen the separation between policymaking and regulation in order to improve public confidence in governance arrangements. Thames Water has announced that it has agreed with Ofwat to defer making the reference of its final determination to the Competition and Markets Authority for a further period. Thames Water requested that Ofwat refer its final determination to the CMA for redetermination in February this year, But in March, Thames and Ofwat agreed to defer the making of the reference for up to 18 weeks. And then in July, this deferral was extended until October. This time, no new deadline has been set for the end of this deferral. The UK government has formally responded to the Office for Environmental Protection's latest annual assessment of the Environmental Improvement Plan. The OEP's report had found that government progress in improving the natural environment in England was weaker than in previous years, and that many legally binding environmental targets remain off track. In its response issued this week, the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs says it welcomes the OEP's analysis and accepts either fully or in part 44 recommendations made by the watchdog. DEFRA confirms that a full statutory revision of the EIP is underway and that the revised plan will provide clearer priorities, delivery information and accountability mechanisms. And finally, water innovation potential was the subject of debate at the recent Innovation Summit, jointly hosted by British Water and Bentley Systems in the City of London last month. The event was conceived by Bob Taylor, convener of the newly launched Innovation Focus Group at British Water and Chief Executive of Portsmouth Water, and developed in direct response to feedback from British Water members who had called for greater support in navigating the innovation ecosystem. Identifying funding routes, finding the right collaborators, and moving from pilot to wide-scale adoption remains a challenge for many innovators. The opportunities are many, though, and Taylor said, "The challenges and the desire for innovation have never been greater in our sector." That's it for this week. Join us next Friday for another episode of SplashCast. Thanks for watching.